great accolades to our superintendent and assistant superintendent of HR, because I will tell you all, we are just one outstanding district in the state. We are, I'm serious, we are above and beyond what so many other districts are doing. Because when some of these same issues have been taken to districts across the state, they go, oh, we can't change because TASB tells us this is the way to do it. So I don't think we're ever going to win Board of the Year from TASB. That's okay with me. Think so. I do think this policy it's really good, even though we're already doing it in practice, and I think putting it in policy will also make it consistent across the district among principals and supervisors. You know, several years ago, Kelly, you told us that we need to work at getting systems in place as we continue to grow, and I think this is part of that system as new principals and new schools are open and we keep adding principals and supervisors. I just think this makes it easier all the way across the board for everyone. And then I hope we're going to use it for retention of our ESPs, because you know we already pay more for health insurance than many of our surrounding districts, and I think this is just another piece that we can use to to hire and retain our support staff. So I think that's, I just think it's a really good piece. So that's what I wanted to say, and then hear what you all are developing on this, on the language.
I did have the opportunity to meet with Sean and Jason this week, and we were able to sit down, and our commitment as a district is to develop a committee that we can look at policies across different districts and make something that's suitable to Del Valley. We would ask that the board president name a representative to that committee from the board to be a part of that decision-making process. We looked at and perused through two districts, Fort Worth ISD and Austin ISD, and we talked a little bit about those details. But I think working collaboratively, we'll come up with a unique policy that fits the needs of Del Valley ISD.
And there's, as far as I know, there's only two districts that have this, Austin and Fort Worth, and that's been in place for a number of years. And I've looked at both the policies years ago, and they're as different as night and day. Austin's is so detailed, it's like, and then Fort Worth is 4 sentences, so it's like, but I just think this is making such a huge statement for our district, a huge statement.
Well, and we're very much interested, to us due process should happen before you're recommended for termination, not just after. It shouldn't just be about steps that you take to try to get your job back. It should be about steps that we take to make sure you never get to that point. We weren't overly thrilled with some of the examples we had, so that's why we wanted to pull people together and see if that was the general consensus in the district, you know, see if that's what everybody was thinking, so that we can put something together that matches not only what we do now, including some of the steps that we have that aren't in other districts, like mediation and things that we already do, but make sure it's meeting what everyone thinks due process is. Because sometimes that's a term thrown around and it's not as helpful as it seems like it should be to us. So.
If I may, in fairness to our campus principals and department supervisors, we do afford due process to our auxiliary personnel and paraprofessionals. It's unwritten, but we do provide due process to them. You know, we do the verbal warning, the written warning, the consultation, all those things. We do provide due process, but it's not in a written format, so that's what we're going to work for.
And you know I love standards.
I know, and I've worked in a district where custodian would walk in and be fired on the spot. It's like, even before the shift started. So I appreciate the fact that the district's been already doing this process and that we're looking to put it in policy.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Ann, for bringing that to our attention. And
We just need a name
Thank
or representative. So.
does anybody?
Can I recommend that Ann be the person on the committee since she has the most knowledge?
I'll be glad to, unless anyone else.
Unless somebody else wanted it, I'm just saying she's already researched
We
it.
have lots of committees coming.
So Gabe and Huber will help you with that. Thank you, Ann.
And I second that we're the best district in Texas.
Yes, definitely.
If we need an emotion for that, it's on the record.
All right, well, we now moved into closed session. The Board of Trustees will now adjourn into closed session under the following sections.